Live Text Access Training for Real-Time Interlingual Subtitlers. This is Unit 1, Understanding Accessibility, Element 3, Embedding Accessibility in Working Environments. This video lecture focuses on how to accommodate hearing accessibility features in working contexts. The information we provide can be useful for accessibility managers, event organizers, or any institution or person who wants to make an environment easy to use for all and possible to use for persons with a hearing loss. My name is Sofía Bernabé Caro from the Internationale Hochschule STI München in Germany. I have prepared this video lecture in collaboration with the European Federation of Hard of Hearing, in short, EFHO. On completion of this training sequence, you will be able to describe features that can be embedded into environments to make them accessible. These features or accommodations that we mention will help you exploring the accessibility of working contexts and classifying them accordingly. We have selected features that are transversal to all types of real-time communication situations. We approach the topic from an end-user perspective. To do so, we include information from the Hearing Accessibility Guidelines published by the International Federation of Hard of Hearing people in 2021. The agenda of this video lecture is very straightforward. We will start by looking into the features one by one, by describing how they contribute to making participation easier for more inclusive and effective. At the end, we will stress main points in the summary. Let's take a look at some accessibility features across real-time contexts. Accessibility is an ability, that is, the ability of a product, a service, etc., to be reached, used, or entered by people with the widest range of abilities possible. Real-time communication situations can therefore be defined and classified by this ability, their ability to be accessible. Since the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, in short CRPD, embedding accessibility in general and in real-time contexts has both evolved and gained momentum. As reported by Watson Zhang in 2013, before the convention, embedding accessibility into environments often meant creating separated solutions. For instance, accessible rooms or websites were separated from the main building or the main website. In this line, access was being provided. However, the solutions were not necessarily inclusive. With the CRPD and the acknowledgement of accessibility as a human right, the approach became more holistic towards integration. Integrated solutions take a wider stand on accessibility. That means that they include accessibility features already in the planning stage and also aim at designing environments for all. Improving hearing accessibility in real-time communication starts by knowing the needs and preferences of target users. This you have learned in the previous lectures of Unit 1, so we will not repeat it here. Then the next step is to realize that hearing accessibility is more than providing a linguistic solution such as sign language, subtitles, or speaking loudly or using a microphone. Hearing accessibility also means making a venue accessible by considering features such as lighting and acoustics and hearing assistive technology to improve access to sound through loops or FM systems, etc. The way content is presented also plays a key role. This includes the communication skills of speakers, of course, but also the communication as a whole. That is the program, the announcements during a conference, etc. Lastly, providing access through real-time subtitling, which, as we have learned already, is complementary to hearing assistive technology and not a replacement. Let's take a closer look at these four categories now. The setup of a venue can impact the visual and oral fatigue of participants or visitors significantly. Some of them may seem obvious to you, like good lighting and acoustics, but others, such as the sitting position of the person with a hearing loss, might be less known to you and or to persons without a hearing loss. Aida and Marcel, could you expand on these first three venue features, please?
Well, I think in general, the seating position of the person, related the light in the room and also the acoustics. The light must come in from behind so that the light will brighten up everybody else's faces. This enables lip reading. And also it really must be good acoustics. There are different rules about acoustics from one country to another, but where I come from, we say that the reverberation must not be more than 0.6 seconds. And this is very important because it affects the microphones in our hearing aids and also in our assistive listening system.
Yes, and sometimes the student is sitting in the front of the classroom, so close by the teacher, so that it is easy for the student to understand the teacher, easy to see the face of the teacher for reading the lips. You can say that the hard of hearing person will not looking to the light, because when you are sitting near the window and the hard of hearing person is on the other side of the room sitting for you, and he look to you and you are sitting behind the window, then it is very difficult to see your face, and that makes it very difficult for the lip reading and also for the non-verbal communication.
You can see at the picture here on this slide that there's an indication of where the windows are, and you can also see where the cross is. That is where the pupil with the hearing loss should be seated with the back towards the windows and also looking out to all the other classmates, because that makes it faster also to lip read and know who is in fact speaking in this classroom when you have a debate going on.
Venues can be equipped with hearing assistive systems and systems that convey visually information that is communicated via a loudspeaker. Some examples are loops. Hearing loops, or equivalent, are often used in venues with big rooms such as theaters, cinemas, conference venues, concert halls. Users of hearing aids or cochlear implants with telecoils can receive the sound transmitted through the loop with less background noise. The drawbacks of loops remain the fact that the sound cannot be provided in stereo and their sensitivity to interferences. Other types of loops are, for instance, neck loops that a person can wear and use with personal devices such as a mobile phone or audio guidelines in museums. Desktop loops are another example. Desktop loops cover smaller surfaces and can be installed at information points or desks. Venues can also be equipped with wireless connections through Bluetooth. This type of connection enables a quick, easy connection with hearing aids and relay ambient noise. This feature comes very handy at conferences to understand the speaker or at classrooms when other students are talking. Another wireless connections are infrared systems, IR systems. Here the main issue is that the IR system needs a direct connection to the receiver, So it is very important where the system is placed in the room and where the person with a hearing loss with the receiver is sitting. The problem is that there must be a direct line which cannot be interrupted. One advantage of our systems, however, is that they do not cross walls. This means that the same frequency can be used in several rooms and that the information stays in the room and is only available for the persons in that room. Lastly, visual alarm or information systems should be installed to provide a written version of information that is presented through loudspeakers, for instance, fire alarms or notifications at theaters or at airports. The written information can appear on a screen in a common area or can be sent to a personal phone. These were just some examples of equipment features for hearing accessibility. The International Federation of Hard of Hearing, in their accessibility guidelines, describe many others and their functionality. Lastly, a feature that concerns the health of the real-time subtitler, that is the working conditions at the venue, be it a workstation at a conference, an event, or in the classroom. Subtitlers work long hours under very stressful conditions. Therefore, organizers should provide them with a small but adequate workplace that includes a table to put their equipment, their pens and notes and bags, and also with a good quality chair. Organizers should ask the subtitler in what part of the room they would like to sit. Many subtitlers prefer sitting close to the speakers if they're not going to be working in the booth. This way they can see well the speaker and the slides, and they can be more aware of their non-verbal communication. Of course, of utmost importance is that organizers provide subtitlers with a good and stable audio connection. Some of the features that we have just discussed are as valid for online as for face-to-face contexts. However, there are also differences. We will discuss these differences in part 2 of this video lecture together with Aida. We will also discuss aspects that organizers, participants, and speakers can implement to improve hearing accessibility. Okay, see you in part 2 then. Bye.
LTA Live Text Access, Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, SDI, Internationale Hochschule, Scuola Superiore per Mediatori Linguistici, ZDF Digital, European Federation of Hard of Hearing People FHO, Velotype, Subti Access, European Certification and Qualification Association ECQA. Co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. Erasmus Plus project 2018-1-DE01-KA203-004218. The information and views set on this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies, nor any person acting on their behalf, may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained here.